In a world filled with questions, where wisdom knows no boundaries, join us on a journey of enlightenment and endless learning. Eternal Teachings. TV. Discover the eternal.
The concept of the end of the world, or eschatology, has been a subject of fascination and fear throughout human history. Various cultures, religions, and scientific disciplines have proposed scenarios depicting the ultimate fate of humanity and the universe. These prophecies and theories serve not only as a reflection of human anxiety and curiosity, but also as a means to understand the moral, spiritual, and existential implications of our existence. This analysis delves into the end-of-world scenarios proposed by different religions and scientific theories, exploring their origins, interpretations, and potential implications. Religious prophecies, Abrahamic religions. Christianity. Christian eschatology is primarily centered around the second coming of Christ, the final judgment, and the establishment of God's kingdom. The New Testament, especially the book of Revelation, provides a vivid depiction of apocalyptic events, including plagues, wars, and the rise of the Antichrist, culminating in the ultimate triumph of good over evil. 1. The Second Coming of Christ. Christians believe that Jesus Christ will return to earth in glory to judge the living and the dead. This event is seen as the fulfillment of biblical prophecies and the ultimate hope for believers. 2. The Final Judgment. According to Christian doctrine, all individuals will be resurrected and judged by Christ based on their deeds. The righteous will inherit eternal life in God's kingdom, while the wicked will face eternal damnation. 3. The Book of Revelation. This final book of the New Testament is rich with symbolic and allegorical imagery, describing a series of catastrophic events leading up to the end of the world. Key elements include the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, the 7 seals, and the Battle of Armageddon. Islam. Islamic eschatology emphasizes the Day of Judgment, or Yom al-Qiyamah, when all souls will be resurrected and judged by Allah. The righteous will enter paradise, or Jannah, while the wicked will face eternal punishment in hell, or Jahannam. 1. Signs of the Day of Judgment. Islamic teachings describe both minor and major signs that will precede the Day of Judgment. These include moral decay, natural disasters, and the appearance of the Dajjal, or Antichrist, and the Mahdi, or Guided One. 2. Resurrection and Judgment. All individuals will be resurrected from their graves and judged by Allah. The deeds of each person will be weighed, and justice will be administered. 3. Descriptions of paradise and hell. The Quran and Hadith provide detailed descriptions of the rewards and punishments awaiting individuals in the afterlife, emphasizing the importance of faith and righteous living. Judaism. Jewish eschatology envisions a messianic age, characterized by the arrival of the Messiah, the ingathering of the Jewish diaspora, and the establishment of a just and peaceful world. The coming of the Messiah. The Messiah, a descendant of King David, will bring about an era of peace and justice, restoring the Jewish people to their homeland and rebuilding the temple in Jerusalem. The ingathering of the exiles. Jews from around the world will return to Israel, fulfilling biblical prophecies and uniting the Jewish people. The world to come, or Olam Haba, Jewish teachings describe a future age of perfection, where the righteous will experience eternal bliss and the world will be filled with divine knowledge. Other religions. Hinduism. Hindu cosmology describes a cyclical universe with periods of creation, known as yugas, followed by destruction or pralaya. The current yuga, Kali Yuga, is considered the darkest and most degenerate age, which will eventually end with the destruction of the universe and the beginning of a new cycle. The four yugas. The cycle of ages includes Satya Yuga, also known as the Golden Age, Treta Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. Each yuga represents a decline in moral and spiritual values. Kali Yuga. This age is marked by strife, corruption, and the decline of dharma, or righteousness. It is believed that at the end of Kali Yuga, the world will be destroyed by natural disasters and divine intervention. Pralaya and rebirth. After the destruction, the universe will undergo a period of dormancy before being recreated, ushering in a new Satya Yuga. Buddhism. Buddhist eschatology focuses on the impermanence of all things and the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, known as samsara. The ultimate goal is to attain enlightenment or nirvana and escape the cycle of suffering. The Four Noble Truths. Buddhism teaches that suffering, or dukkha, is inherent in life. The path to ending suffering involves understanding its causes and following the Eightfold Path. Maitreya, the future Buddha. Prophecies in Buddhist texts predict the coming of Maitreya, who will achieve complete enlightenment and teach the Dharma, leading to a new era of spiritual awakening. The cycle of samsara. The continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth can only be broken by achieving nirvana, the ultimate state of liberation and peace. Norse mythology predicts Ragnarok, a cataclysmic event involving a great battle between the gods and giants, resulting in the destruction of the world and its eventual rebirth. The prophecy of Ragnarok. The Eddas and sagas describe the events leading up to and including Ragnarok, including the death of key gods like Odin, Thor, and Loki, and the ensuing chaos. The Great Battle. A final battle between the gods, known as the Aesir, and the giants, known as the Jotnar, will lead to widespread destruction, with the world consumed by fire and water. Rebirth and renewal. After the destruction, a new world will emerge from the sea, with surviving gods and humans repopulating the earth and living in harmony. Part 3. Scientific Explanations. Astronomical events. Asteroid impact. The impact of a large asteroid or comet on Earth could trigger a global catastrophe, causing widespread destruction, climate change, and mass extinction. This scenario is supported by geological evidence from past events, such as the Chicxulub impact that contributed to the extinction of the dinosaurs. 1. Historical precedents. The Chicxulub impact, which occurred around 66 million years ago, is believed to have caused massive wildfires, a nuclear winter effect, and the extinction of 75% of Earth's species. 2 current monitoring efforts organizations, like NASA's Near-Earth Object Observations Program, actively track asteroids and comets that pose potential threats to Earth. Efforts are underway to develop strategies for deflecting or mitigating the impact of such objects. 3. Potential consequences. An asteroid impact could lead to immediate destruction in the impact zone, followed by long-term environmental effects, including global cooling, disruption of food supplies, and collapse of ecosystems. Solar flares. Powerful solar flares and coronal mass ejections, or CMEs, could disrupt Earth's magnetic field and electrical grid, leading to technological failures and societal collapse. 1. Mechanisms of solar activity. Solar flares are intense bursts of radiation caused by the release of magnetic energy from the sun's surface. CMEs are massive bursts of solar wind and magnetic fields rising above the solar corona. 2. Historical examples. The Carrington event of 1859 was a powerful geomagnetic storm that disrupted telegraph systems and produced auroras visible at low latitudes. A similar event today could have catastrophic effects on modern technology. 3. Potential impacts: disruption of electrical grids, satellite communications, and navigation systems could lead to widespread blackouts, economic losses, and chaos in modern society. Gamma-ray bursts. Intense bursts of gamma radiation from distant cosmic events could strip Earth's ozone layer, exposing life to harmful radiation and triggering mass extinctions. Causes of gamma-ray bursts. These bursts are believed to result from the collapse of massive stars or the merger of neutron stars. They release immense amounts of energy in a short time. Effects on Earth. A nearby gamma-ray burst could deplete the ozone layer, leading to increased ultraviolet radiation reaching the surface. This could damage ecosystems, harm living organisms, and disrupt the climate. Scientific research astronomers and astrophysicists study gamma-ray bursts using space telescopes and observational data to understand their origins, mechanisms, and potential impacts on Earth. Monitoring and analyzing these events help in assessing the risks and developing strategies for potential future occurrences. Geological events. Supervolcano eruption. A supervolcano eruption could release massive amounts of ash and volcanic gases into the atmosphere, causing global cooling, crop failures, and widespread famine. Definition and examples. Supervolcanoes are volcanic centers that have had eruptions of magnitude 8 on the Volcanic Explosivity Index, indicating an eruption with a volume of more than 1,000 cubic kilometers of material. Examples include Yellowstone in the United States and Toba in Indonesia. Potential global effects. An eruption of this scale would result in a volcanic winter, where the ash and sulfur dioxide ejected into the atmosphere reflect sunlight, leading to a significant drop in global temperatures. This could cause crop failures, food shortages, and economic disruptions. Monitoring and preparedness. Geological surveys and monitoring systems track signs of potential supervolcanic activity. Scientists study past supervolcano eruptions to understand their triggers and predict future events. Earthquakes and tsunamis. Devastating earthquakes and tsunamis could trigger widespread destruction and loss of life, particularly in coastal regions. Causes and historical instances. Earthquakes result from the sudden release of energy in the Earth's crust due to tectonic movements. Tsunamis are often triggered by underwater earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, or landslides. Notable examples include the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami in Japan. Impact on coastal regions. Coastal areas are particularly vulnerable to tsunamis, which can inundate large areas with little warning, causing extensive damage and loss of life. Earthquakes can also lead to secondary disasters, such as fires and landslides. Advances in prediction and mitigation. Seismologists and oceanographers work on improving early warning systems and preparedness plans to reduce the impact of these natural disasters. Building codes and land use planning are also critical in mitigating damage. Climate change. Global warming. Human-induced climate change could lead to rising sea levels, extreme weather events, droughts, floods, and food shortages, posing significant threats to human civilization and ecosystems. Scientific consensus. The vast majority of climate scientists agree that human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels and deforestation, are driving global warming. Consequences. Rising temperatures are causing polar ice melt and thermal expansion of oceans, leading to sea level rise. Extreme weather events, such as hurricanes, heat waves, and heavy rainfall, are becoming more frequent and intense. These changes threaten biodiversity, agriculture, and human health. Mitigation and adaptation strategies. Efforts to combat climate change include reducing greenhouse gas emissions, transitioning to renewable energy sources, and enhancing carbon sequestration. Adaptation measures involve building resilient infrastructure, protecting vulnerable ecosystems, and developing sustainable agricultural practices. Technological risks. Artificial intelligence. The development of superintelligent AI could pose existential risks if it surpasses human control or develops goals that conflict with human values. Potential benefits and risks. While AI has the potential to revolutionize industries and improve quality of life, it also poses significant risks. These include job displacement, loss of privacy, and, in extreme cases, the possibility of AI systems acting autonomously in harmful ways. Ethical considerations and control mechanisms. Ensuring that AI development is aligned with human values and ethical standards is crucial. This involves implementing robust oversight, transparency, and accountability in AI research and applications. Scenarios of AI surpassing human intelligence. Theoretical discussions and speculative scenarios explore the possibility of AI reaching a level of intelligence that exceeds human capabilities. Strategies to mitigate these risks include the development of friendly AI and international cooperation on AI safety standards. Nuclear war. A global nuclear war could have catastrophic consequences, including widespread radiation poisoning, nuclear winter, and the collapse of civilization. Historical context and current threats. The Cold War era saw the proliferation of nuclear weapons and the constant threat of mutually assured destruction. Although the risk of a large-scale nuclear conflict has decreased, the presence of nuclear arsenals and geopolitical tensions still pose significant dangers. Potential global consequences. A nuclear war could result in immediate massive casualties, long-term environmental damage from radiation, and a nuclear winter scenario where soot and debris block sunlight, leading to global cooling and agricultural collapse. Disarmament and prevention efforts. International treaties, such as the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, aim to prevent the spread of nuclear weapons and promote disarmament. Diplomatic efforts and confidence-building measures are essential to reducing the risk of nuclear conflict. Interpretations and implications. Religious and scientific prophecies offer different perspectives on the end of the world. Religious prophecies often focus on moral and spiritual dimensions, emphasizing the importance of repentance, faith, and preparation for the afterlife. Scientific explanations, on the other hand, emphasize natural processes and potential threats to human civilization and the planet. Comparison of perspectives. Moral and ethical lessons. Religious prophecies often serve as moral and ethical guides, encouraging individuals to lead righteous lives and prepare for spiritual outcomes. Scientific scenarios highlight the need for responsible stewardship of the planet and proactive measures to mitigate risks. Literal versus metaphorical interpretations. Some individuals interpret religious prophecies literally, while others see them as metaphorical or symbolic representations of moral truths. Scientific theories are based on empirical evidence and are generally interpreted literally, although they can also serve as cautionary tales about potential future risks. Cultural and historical contexts. The interpretation and significance of these prophecies vary depending on cultural backgrounds and historical contexts. Religious eschatologies are deeply rooted in specific theological traditions, while scientific theories evolve with advances in knowledge and technology. Conclusion. The end of the world is a complex and multifaceted concept that has been explored through various religious and scientific lenses. While religious prophecies offer spiritual interpretations and emphasize the importance of moral values, scientific explanations focus on natural processes and potential risks to human civilization. Both perspectives offer valuable insights into the ultimate fate of humanity and the universe. It is important to approach these prophecies with critical thinking and a balanced perspective. While some scenarios may seem far-fetched or improbable, others, such as climate change and technological risks, pose real and immediate threats. By understanding these potential dangers and taking proactive measures to address them, we can strive to create a more sustainable and resilient future for ourselves and generations to come.